Waking Down in Mutuality is a gathering of people who were helped and catalyzed by Samuel Bonder's work, starting in the early 90s. And that group of people all share an awakening in which they dropped down into their bodies, into their humanity. And yet there was a clarification of the conscious principle at the same time.
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is the understanding, the basic understanding we have of our existence here. And that is that we live as divinely human people, not only conscious people or divine people, but we also live our human lives as, human heroes and heroines going through lots of trials at the very basic level of our existence. And this is a reality that can't be skipped over. And a lot of traditional practices help the person to go beyond the limits of of being affected by their human trials. Like they advise you to step back from them, let them go, not put any attention on them, not create more drama. They advise you to drop your story. But Waking Down in Mutuality takes a person beyond that practice. It takes a person into the receptivity of our human conditions, into honoring them as heroic, as challenging, as a vehicle for learning and growth.
What I do is help people to really deeply trust themselves. And there's a kind of a spiritual transmission that happens because there's a transformation that happened in my own body and mind that makes me a kind of radiator of this transmission. That coupled with really listening to who you are, really being with who you are, asking you what you feel about life, what you feel you are, coaxing that out. That combination is very powerful. People experience themselves awakening in a spiritual sense to deeper dimensions of who they are. They find themselves embracing their frailties, their humanness, their vulnerability. They find themselves really interested in listening to others in their relationships. Their relationships tend to get better, or at least more authentic and real. At least that. There's a kind of a heart awakening that happens. I mean, all of this language is pointing to something that's very real, very palpable, very effective in your life, so that you know that you're changing. You know that your life has changed. That's what I'm about. That's what this work is about. It's about you deeply trusting your own life.